I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
Were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
You're trying to be.
Do not invoke for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not.
They responded in 5 seconds. They did their jobs with courage, grace, tenacity, humility. 18 years later, do yours.
I want to start this video off by saying that in 2001, I was in 2nd grade, growing up a stone's throw away from Manhattan in a small town in New Jersey. I had a lot of friends and family members who worked in Manhattan, some of whom worked in the World Trade Center. I say that to say, please pardon my passion in this video, but with that said, let's get into it. Because we have breaking news out of the House Task Force investigating the attempted assassinations of Donald Trump, where the hearing erupted into a screaming match between Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe and Republican Congressman Pat Fallon from Texas over the Republicans' alleged politicization of this year's 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony. And I have that coming up for you in just a second, and it is for sure the wildest part of this already insane hearing. But as wild and tumultuous as this heated exchange was in the hearing, I, for one, am not surprised that a Republican would use the deaths of innocent Americans and heroes to push a partisan political agenda. I mean, come on. We're talking about the party that not only elected and continues to deep throat this man as commander-in-chief.
After 9/11, America went to war. Thousands volunteered and many died. Today, Donald Trump calls them suckers and losers. On that day, Donald Trump was just a terrible person. He bragged about the fact that he now had the tallest building in New York.
40 Wall Street actually was the 2nd tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest, and then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the 2nd tallest, and now it's the tallest.
Later, he lied and said he was at Ground Zero helping.
Everyone who helped clear the rubble, and I was there, and I watched, and I helped a little bit.
But in addition to that, this is the same party, and Democrats hold some responsibility here as well, but not nearly as much. The same party, folks, that just a couple of years ago, you may remember, fought tooth and nail to deny the first responders of that tragic day their fucking health care and benefits through the Victims' Compensation Fund. And Jon Stewart chewed out their sorry asses for it back then, and I want to start with some of his cathartic words and then get into this heated Secret Service clip to really drive home the point how few these elected officials, specifically Republicans, give about us if they so callously disrespect and care this little about first responders and victims.
As I sit here today, I can't help but think what an incredible metaphor this room is for the entire process that getting health care and benefits for first responders has come to. Behind me, a filled room of first responders. And in front of me, a nearly empty Congress. Sick and dying, they brought themselves down here to speak to no one. It's shameful. It's an embarrassment to the country, and it is a stain on this institution. And you should be ashamed of yourselves for those that aren't here, but you won't be, because accountability doesn't appear to be something that occurs in this chamber.
I just watched that whole thing while recording this, and so I'm just gonna kind of numbly explain the context here and then play the clip of what happened in the hearing and then let Jon Stewart finish us out. Because unfortunately, this many years after the tragedy, it's still something that needs to be said. At the Thursday hearing, Fallon, the Republican congressman, suggested Rowe, the Secret Service director, had not provided adequate protection at a remembrance ceremony. Rowe insisted that he was not a part of Trump's protective detail that day because he attended the ceremony as a representative of the Secret Service. Take a listen.
So I got another question for you. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Was that the remembrance of?
It was.
Was it in New York?
It was at Ground Zero.
Okay. Who's usually at an event like this closest to the President of the United States, security-wise?
The SAC of the detail.
Special agent in charge of the detail. Were you the special agent in charge of the detail that day?
Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh, no, leave that one up with the circle around me. Thank you. So actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the SAC of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that.
I'm
asking you
Congressman.
if you were the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret
That's
Service
a bunch of
member
horse hockey.
that died on 9/11.
You were trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please.
You are out of line,
bully
Congressman.
me. Don't
Way
try
out
to
of
bully
line.
me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are
I
playing
am a
politics.
public servant who has served this nation and
You
spent
won't answer
time
the question.
on our day, on our country's darkest
Mr.
day.
Chairman,
Committee
you
will
not
come
answer-
to
Do not
order.
politicize it.
Committee will come to order.
I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that
No,
day?
I wasn't. I was there
Oh, no,
representing
Mr.
the
Chairman,
United
I'm
States
just
Secret
asking you yes or
Service,
no.
sir.
Mr. Fallon, your
and
time's
did not
expired.
affect
Oh, you were
Time's
there
expired.
because you wanted to be visible because you were auditioning for this
I was
job
there to
that
pay
you're not gonna
respect for a
get
fallen
till
member of
January
this
20th.
agency.
You endangered
You are
President
out of
Biden's
line,
life,
Congressman.
Vice President
You are out of
Harris's
line.
life because you put those agents out of position.
Mr.
Did you have a
Chairman.
radio with
Mr.
you?
Fallon,
Did
your
you wear a
time
vest?
has
Did you have a
expired.
weapon?
Mr.
No.
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
please.
All right. And we are back
You're
in
a
order
bully.
now. We are back in order now.
Thank you.
Pat Fallon, with no due respect, fine ball. And like I said, with that type of disrespect and the number of empty seats there, I immediately thought, how the f is this still the state of our politics, even after this?
Lou's going to go back for his 69th chemo. The great Ray Pfeiffer would come down here, his body riddled with cancer and pain, where he couldn't walk. And the disrespect shown to him and to the other lobbyists on this bill is utterly unacceptable. You know, I used to get, I would be so angry at the latest injustice that's done to these men and women. And, you know, another business card thrown our way as a way of shooing us away, like children trick-or-treating, rather than the heroes that they are and will always be. Ray would say, calm down, Johnny, calm down. I got all the cards I need. And he would tap his pocket. Where he kept the prayer cards, 343 firefighters. The official FDNY response time to 9/11 was 5 seconds. 5 seconds. That's how long it took for FDNY, for NYPD, for Port Authority, for EMS to respond to an urgent need from the public. 5 seconds. There is not a person here, there is not an empty chair on that stage that didn't tweet out, never forget the heroes of 9/11. Never forget their bravery. Never forget what they did, what they gave to this country. Well, here they are. And it would be one thing if their callous indifference and rank hypocrisy were benign, but it's not. Your indifference cost these men and women their most valuable commodity, time. It's the one thing they're running out of. And you are ignoring them. And you can end it tomorrow. They responded in 5 seconds. They did their jobs with courage, grace, tenacity, humility. 18 years later, do yours. Thank you.
Okay.